Hello, you guys. How are you doing today? Welcome back to another amazing session of Michelle Chyam's Tarot. I am Michelle Chyam, and this is going to be a very powerful message, and I pray that it will help you to elevate spiritually and it will help you to ascend higher than where you are right now. Um, I'm on my self healing journey. I'm learning a lot about my twin flame. I'm learning a lot about false flames. Okay? And I'm praying for all of the divine masculines and divine feminines who are chosen. If you're chosen in this season, your story is unique, your life story. And in order for you to figure out whether you're chosen, you got to go back to your childhood. And you have to think about all that you've experienced, right? And if you were the type of person in your childhood who was the black sheep of the family, who was always getting in trouble, you were rebellious in school, you were molested as a child by a family member or by close friends of your family members. You were always bullied as a child. And also you had a gift. You had either you could say prophetic or psychic gift. You know, I'm still trying to find a word that I'm comfortable with because I believe that a lot of people have abused the word psychic, and a lot of people have abused the word prophet or prophetess. Okay? I believe that a prophet or a prophetess or a psychic is very special. And I believe that there are rare chosen psychic prophets, prophetesses. Like I told you before, everybody is not chosen. But there are a lot of prophets and psychics around this world who want to be successful, who want to be seen, who want to be heard, who want to be validated, and who are using their gifts just to attract money. But I believe that our gifts are to be used to change the world, to heal the brokenhearted, to inspire those who are lost, those who are weak, those who know that they have a higher purpose in this life. And all their life they've been trying to reach it and manifest it into this reality. But you've had family members to block you. You've had people who you thought were your friends to block you. You had people you didn't even know as a child, but they looked into your life and they knew you were a psychic or a prophet. And so they had your gifts, but they also had extra gifts that you have that you haven't even discovered about yourself. Like people can have visions, right, of you. And they could see you in your home and what you're doing. And I had that gift years ago. Okay. It was revealed to me when I was in my old house. And I was down here and I was sitting in the tub. And I was taking a bath and I had a clear vision of someone in my family. And I saw them in their home and I saw exactly what they were doing. But then after that, my vision was blocked because someone who hated me, who was jealous of me, began to do spell work, black magic, and dark magic. It was several people. And so they put fear in me. Fear is the manifestation of the black magic and the dark magic and the voodoo, okay? So they put fear in me by creating all these obstacles, right? The spell work heightened my intuition. And so it was so many people that started sending me psychic attacks. And this is around the time that I was falling into depression because I had a situation going on in my life that uprooted my stability. And so I was put into the psych ward, right? Now, my family, some of my family members, like my mother, God bless her soul, felt like this was the only way to help me. She said I was depressed, I wasn't eating, and I don't even know what other stuff she said, but there were also some lies being told on me, okay? So they threw me in the psych ward and thought that that was going to block off my intuition and my psychic abilities or my prophetic abilities, but it did not work. All that happened was that the fear covered my gifts that God had given me. And so what happened was God covered my gifts and he hid them from me for just a little while longer to fool my enemies, to make them think that they won. And so all my life I've been put in fearful situations. And this is one of the ways you could tell if you are truly gifted. Because you can see the past, present, and the future. You can have a unique way of reading tarot cards. They're not like everybody else. Okay? I noticed that there are a lot of prophets and psychics whose messages sound similar, whose techniques of how they do things are similar. But the chosen ones were called to stand out. There are so many psychics that I follow, but there are only a few that I feel are really truly chosen because their gifts are unique and they don't follow the crowd, okay? And so oftentimes when you are gifted and you are truly the real authentic prophet or psychic of the divine creator and universe, or God as you call them, you're going to have a burdensome life. You're going to have haters all around you, especially in your family. And oftentimes people know who you are as a child. And maybe you might have been the one to run your mouth all the time. You had a certain family member that you was close to. You thought they were your best friend, but they were jealous of you. They hated on you. But you didn't know that because you didn't know who you were. And because you are loved, you loved everybody as a child. Good, bad, it didn't matter. And so you began to spill your guts to your enemy as a child, right? And some of you found out that you had these gifts as an adult, all right? But you always had these gifts as a child. And you operated in your gifts as a child. You were able to manifest anything that you wanted as a child. And so your enemies that were surrounded around you, who acted like they had your best interests at heart, acted like they truly loved you when they were jealous of you, they began to listen to you. If you are a prophet now, you always was a prophet as a child. If you are a psychic now, you always was a psychic as a child. But as a child, you were free of restrictions. And your faith was out of this world. So you manifested anything immediately. So your enemies knew that you were special. They knew you were a prophet and they knew you were a psychic. Even if they couldn't put a label on it, right? And so what did they do? They allowed their jealousy to overtake them. And they allowed these evil, dark entities, which was nothing but people who were evil around the world, who understood how energy operated and who understood how telepathic connections operated. They would talk to that person through their mental, and they would tell them to do certain things to you, right? And then it was mixed up with your enemy's jealousy and hatred. So a lot of those things that they did to you was because they wanted to do them to you. They knew it was wrong. And many of your enemies in this season are going to come to you and apologize to you, but they're going to blame it on someone else of why they did what they did. We have free will. That's what God gave us. So they had the choice to do it or not to do it. And when your enemies did things to you such as molested you, stole money from you, they bullied you, they knew it was wrong, but they made a conscious decision to do it on themselves. So if someone comes to you in this season and wants to apologize to you and tell you that they did it because of what happened to them or because somebody else made them do it, that's not an authentic apology. Yes, things happen to us, but that does not give you the right to go out there and do it to someone else. You know it's wrong. So you can't blame nobody else for why you did what you did. You have to hold yourself accountable for why you did what you did, right? And I've had some family members come to me and apologize to me and say, oh, I hurt you and I did that to you because such and such made me do it. Or because such and such did it to me, so I did it to you. Oftentimes, that's not the truth. Oftentimes, your enemies hurt you over and over again because they're jealous of you. They know you're gifted, so they want to put fear in you. They want to make you feel terrible about yourself. They want to slam and destroy your self-esteem. And so they want to put you in this mind frame so they can destroy your gifts. Because if you are spiritually gifted, how someone can block your gifts is they keep you in fear. And it could be fear of anything, of people, places, and things, or anything. They also create illusions for you, right? And oftentimes, as a child, you had specific family members or people outside your family who tried to get close to you. And they wanted you to live in fear of them. They wanted you to think that they were more powerful than you were. And so you began to live in this fear of this person. You began to do what they asked you to do. And some of the things they asked you to do was not even right. It was evil, plain out evil and nasty. Evil and just not of the divine. These people knew that what they were doing to you and telling you to do was wrong, but they didn't care. Their whole agenda was to keep you bound and to keep you stuck in fear, so that you won't have no peace and clarity to really recognize who the divine creator or God has created you to be. And so that you can access your gifts. These people that were your enemies, they didn't really like you. They still don't like you. They pretend to like you. They pretend to love you. And a lot of them now in this season are backtracking because the spell work, the black magic, and the dark, the voodoo and stuff is not working. It has not worked for years. And so they're trying to reverse all of that. And so they're trying to manipulate the divine creator or God into believing, and you, into believing that they've changed. And the heart has changed towards you, but it hasn't. They're still jealous of you. They still hate you. They're still lying on you. They're still gossiping on you. And some may have stopped gossiping and lying on you, but their heart is not right. A lot of times spell work and black magic is not when you put certain tools together. Like people may go get bones and dirt and herbs and mix it together and do potions and stuff. A lot of times black magic is not even that. Black magic can just be that somebody truly hates you. And they think of these hatred thoughts over and over again. And they think of, what can I do to hold this person down? Molestation is a form of black magic and spell work. People bullying you. People torturing you. People, like I told you before, as a child, I was locked up in the bedroom a lot while my mother was at work. And I was starved. And oftentimes, I would want to go on the roof to jump off the roof, but I was scared of heights. So I go back in the room and sit and wait till my mother got off of work. That's a form of black magic spell work, because it's that situation that that person created to put me in fear. And so I lived in fear all my childhood. And so I could not operate in my gifts. My gifts were covered and they were hidden within me because I was always in fear. Because I had a family member who was bullying me, who was molesting me, who was torturing me as a child. They used to make me eat these little white hot sauce balls, shove them down my throat, and I would throw up, and then they would make me eat them again. They would just do mean, bullying stuff for no reason. And so, growing up, I wasn't able to recognize the power that I possessed and who I was. But let me tell you how powerful this psychic ability is. And a lot of you were able to manifest as a child, and you manifested the life that you wanted to live as a child. And someone or several people saw this and they became fearful of you. So they did whatever they could do to destroy your psychic abilities and to block you. But little did they know that the divine creator and universe snatched your gifts and they hid them. So, because they wanted to make your enemy think that they won, right? And so as a child, I don't remember how I was manifesting my boyfriend, okay? But as a child, I was in elementary school or preschool. And I would go to school, and I had two young boys. One name was Justin, and one name was Robert. They both liked me, right? And so one of them, we would walk to class, hold hands, and we would talk, right? The other one was more affectionate. And so he would take my books and he would carry them to my class. He would walk up to me when I get to school and say, Keisha, you want me to carry your books to class? And he would carry them. Then we would be outside, and every day in school, we would watch Schoolhouse Rock, right? And I used to love that. That was my favorite show, yo. And so Robert would always carry my books to class. And then he'd be like, Keisha, you want to go watch Schoolhouse Rock? And we sit up in the front together. And I'd be like, yeah, sure. So he would hold my hand and walk me up to the front. And we would sit down and watch Schoolhouse Rock together, hold hands. And so he would even go from class to class and hold my hand, right? And so I know that I had to come home and tell my mother and my sisters, because I got a big ass mouth. You know, sometimes I can't hold water. Well, I used to couldn't hold water now, and sometimes I'm still like that, but I'm trying to change that about myself. When I know it's something that's very important and that people confide in me about, I don't tell that. But if it's something like my children being pregnant and they about to have my grandbaby, yeah, I'm going to tell about that because I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? But I don't tell people's personal business. I don't. I take that serious because I wouldn't want nobody to do it to me. So, I knew I had to come home and tell some of my family members about these two boys. And I was so excited. And I manifested them in my life, right? So I had forgot about this through the years. I had blocked it, or whoever was doing black magic or spell work on me, they blocked it from me. And so as I grew up and when I was able to have sex with men, I think at 18, that's when all I attracted was men who used me for sex. Even my husband, my ex-husband. Men who cheated on me. Men who lied. Men who wanted other women because they didn't think I was pretty enough. They didn't think I had the body that they wanted me to have, right? And then a lot of them, when I left them, they fell in love with me, right? But a lot of them fell in love with me because after I left them, they received karma. And so they weren't getting the relationships that they wanted, or the real women that they wanted. The women that they cheated on me with, or the women that they were in relationships with, started showing their true colors, and the roles switched. The position they put me in, where they didn't want me because they felt like I wasn't pretty enough, or whatever the case, and they used me for sex, the roles switched. Now these women began to use them, right? And now these women didn't feel like they were attractive enough, or whatever the case may be, right? Karma is real. So, as a child, I didn't understand why I kept moving from school to school, right? When I began to come down here, I realized that when I was going to school down here, I stayed with my classmates all the way to the 12th grade. But when I was in Jersey, New Jersey, as a child, and I believe it started when I had Justin and Robert in my life, and I was able to manifest them. I had a real true love when I was younger, and I believe that real true love was Robert. I believe Justin was in love with me, but I don't know. One of them is my twin flame, all right? And so I believe that my mother or my sister, no, my mother, not my sister, my mother separated me out of that school. She put me out of school and put me in another school. And so I moved from school to school in New Jersey as a child. And that's because when I began to manifest the life that I wanted to live, or manifest anything that I wanted to live, I would come home and run my big mouth and tell my mommy and stuff. And so I believe my mother had a jealous spirit within her. And so she removed me out of those schools, right? And placed me in other schools. Now, they could tell me, oh, no, we didn't remove you out of them schools because of that. We removed you because you needed better teachers because you were hard of hearing. And you needed a sign language teacher. And that there was no sign language teacher in that school. And that's why we removed you, or whatever the case may be. And then I realized that my classmates that I had when I was dealing with Robert and Justin, I started experiencing different classmates. But as a child, I had authentic classmates who loved me. And they didn't bully me. And I used to love going to school. I used to love it. I had a best friend. She wore hearing aids too. And I can't even remember what her name is. But she was light-skinned and she had hearing aids. And so me and her, we were close. And I had some beautiful classmates, and even to this day, I'm still trying to find them, but I can't find them. I even go on the school website, which I went to Watchine Elementary School in New Jersey, and I went to Bradford School in New Jersey. And so I can't find that they have any yearbooks, or that they have any memory books where my classmates and I are in there with pictures. But I can find my mother's school yearbooks. And my mother was born way before I was, right? And I can find my sisters and my cousins' yearbooks and everything. But I can't find my yearbook as a child, which I believe either they didn't have it at the time, or that's part of the black magic spell word. And so, like I told you yesterday, I was depressed, and I was really sad. And part of that was the depression was not my energy, right? But the sadness was because I kept thinking about the men that I was with since I could have sex. All of them were the same. They were shallow. They were cheaters. They were drug addicts. They were users. They were liars. And they did not want me. And many of them chased me and really don't understand why they chased me. Okay? But some of them are getting their karma. And then some of them feel like, oh, well, she's stupid. I'm going to still go back and use her. Not knowing that they're playing a dangerous game, right? Because they don't really know who I am, and they haven't seen the full evidence. But a lot of them are seeing it, and a lot of them are getting ready to see that the God that I serve is truly real, right? And so I got sad yesterday. I was like, man, I ain't got no twin flame. I started doubting myself. And I was like, well, I do have a twin flame, but maybe it's somebody new, you know? And I just got sad because I'm like, I couldn't get this one guy that I had a sexual relationship with here in Whiteville off my mind. And I thought that he was my true twin flame, but he was nothing to me. All he was a user to come in my life and make me think that he was in love with me. And all these men, they blocked my real twin flame because I experienced real love as a child, right? But that real love was taken away from me on purpose, right? And so I began to sit there and I just lost hope for a minute because I've been dealing with this ever since I was 18. Men coming into my life acting like they love me, acting like they want a relationship with me, and they were low vibrational beings, and all it was blacks. All it was that they don't want me to get this message out. All it was dark black magic, voodoo, spell work. Okay. There were people that don't know me, but they could look into my life, like I told you, and they knew I had a king, right? So they orchestrated some things to block my king, right? And to pull me away from my true twin flame and to separate us. And from that point on, they made it their business that every man that come into my life was not divine and they weren't prosperous. But they felt like they were going to destroy me and kill the gifts that God gave me. And that they were going to block my twin flame from coming to me. Right? And so I'm telling you this story because many of you have a twin flame from childhood. But you had someone who genuinely loved you. And I'm talking about from preschool on up to maybe like throughout your school years, right? There was someone that had a crush on you or someone that you were in a relationship with at a young age. And they were taken away from you. But they weren't taken away from you by accident. They probably moved away from you. They probably, something happened where y'all separated out of each other's life. You were the type of child that when you were with this person, you bragged on them all the time. And you told the people around you about this amazing, gorgeous, magnificent person, right? And you couldn't stop talking about this person. You couldn't. But the people around you, there were one or a couple people who were jealous of you. So they began to do spell work to break y'all apart. And it worked. Why did it work? Because you didn't know who you were. You didn't know your power that you possessed. And you didn't know how to operate in it. And so I know I had enemies in my family that were looking at me because I had two boys that liked me. Even with my cruise eye syndrome. They thought I was beautiful. They thought I was gorgeous. I had two. And then growing up, I can't understand why I kept attracting these no good men. And my heart was broken over and over and over again. So I began to lose faith. But God reminded me, Keisha, you have a twin flame out here, duh. Remember what happened to you as a child? So the enemy can't confuse me anymore and tell me that I'm ugly. Why? Because I healed myself and I believe I'm ugly. But I also had people in my life as a child who truly, authentically loved me. And they truly, authentically was not ashamed to be with me. They showed it to other people. They always wanted to be around me. And as a child, I believe I gave out prophecy as a child. And the enemy tried to snatch that away from me. Remember, I don't believe the enemy is a spirit. I believe the enemy is human beings who are evil, whose hearts are evil and no good. The enemy is people who are jealous, people who have hatred in their heart, people who always conjuring up thoughts of how to hurt you and break your heart so they can block you. People who always think of how to try to keep you in a fearful state. That's the enemy. People who know that you have money or whatever. Like some of you as a child had money, right? Real money. And your enemy stole it from you. And they've been stealing it from you all your life. You were supposed to be famous at a certain time of your life. But somebody swapped destinies with you. How did they do it? Because you being a prophet and you being a psychic as a child, you told people the recipe to be successful. You just don't remember. And the people you told were your enemies, but you didn't realize they were your enemies, right? They knew how to manipulate you. They knew how to suppress your gifts, right? And some of these people didn't even know what they were doing. They just was doing it because they just knew they was jealous of you and they hated you because you were special. And you've been special all your life. So what I want to encourage you to know is that yes, you have a twin flame. Many of you haven't seen and experienced this twin flame as a child. You know who your twin flame is, okay? And if you would go on a self-healing journey, you would be celibate, you would detach from toxic people, places, and things. Lift up your self-esteem so nobody can take advantage of you. So the black magic and dark magic and spell work and voodoo can't work on you. When you know who you are and you operate in who you are, you have a high self-value about yourself. No spell work, no black magic can work on you. When you don't live in fear, no spell work, no black magic, no voodoo can work on you. And when you know who you are, you can begin to declare and decree and change the atmosphere. When things were working against you, you can begin to work, have things work for you, right? And in this season, the divine creator and universe and your ancestors are protecting you. So if you are of the divine masculine and divine feminine, many of you might live in fear, be afraid, because your true enemy's been messing with you all your life. And they've been taking your blessings from you. They've been hurting you. Some of you have been in domestic violence situations. You be with one partner and they're abusive. Then you move to another partner, they're abusive. And so you've been traumatized to believe that all your life people are going to come against you and they're going to hurt you. But in this season, I declare and decree no weapon formed against you is going to prosper. I declare and decree you will not live in fear. You are bold because God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of love and of a sound mind. I declare and decree that all of your enemies are getting their karma and they can't overpower you anymore. They cannot break you anymore. That season is over. You have broken the curse or the curses over your life. And so this is your season to come up. Please trust me. I have so much more to say about this. I know this video is long. I have a lot. But I told you about my childhood boyfriend because I want you to understand that this how deep this situation is. People, your enemies know who your twin flame is. And so they knew how to operate energy and stuff, or people in high places knew how to do, had psychic abilities, and knew how to do black magic spell work, or whatever the case may be, to block your blessings. Many of your enemies have your gifts that you have, that you had as a child. Many of them have that are close to you now. And that's how they're able to do this black magic spell work and manipulate your life to let bad event after bad event after bad event happen. But you're going to come into a season where you're going to connect with your twin flame. And they're not going to let nobody hurt you. They're not going to let nobody manipulate events in your life to let bad thing after bad thing happen. Why? Because if you are a psychic and a prophet or a prophetess, your twin flame is just like you. Your twin flame has been through what you've been through. And they are chosen too. And they know you already. You don't have to tell them your life story, because your life story is their life story. Okay? So when you see your twin flame, you won't have to worry about explaining yourself to them. Many of you, your twin flame is your childhood best friend. Now, if your child best friend is deceased, then the divine creating universe is going to rise up a new twin flame. If your exes are toxic and they don't change, then don't worry about that, because the divine creator has a person who's your twin flame. And they are just like you. And they have real power to destroy a lot of your enemies and destroy the wickedness that's going on around this world. You don't believe me? Keep on living. And so many of you may have a twin flame as your ex. You have to separate from them, go on your healing journey. They'll go on their healing journey, and then they'll come back brand new and changed. But I need you to understand how evil the enemy works. Do not allow these manipulative, low vibrational energies or toxic people to manipulate you, to make you think that they love you and they're your twin flame. And many of them have telepathic connections, and they operate in them, so they screw you over. They'll connect to your mental, and they'll literally be talking to you in your mental, and they'll literally be sending you love energy and everything. And if you're not strong enough to know who you are and to know how powerful you are, and you don't listen to your intuition, you're going to fall into their trap. Because many of these people are trying to block you from your real twin flame. And a lot of these people know that you're going to be someone who's going to break a lot of barriers down on this earth. You're going to bring a lot of people together. And you are going to do what a lot of people on this earth has never been able to do. They could have done it had they not operated in evilness, had their heart been right. But many people know that you're supposed to be great, so they're trying to block you. And they know that you're a good man and a good woman, and they know that there's somebody out there who's going to fall in love with you and possibly help you to elevate and begin to tap into your life purpose. And they're going to be able to do the work. And these people that are low vibrational won't be able to use you no more. So a lot of them are being in fear because of that. So I want you to know you have a twin flame. I want you to know there was a young man and a woman who blocked your love life. Okay? Excuse my cards. All right? That's the Jack of Pentacles. All right? It was a young man or a man that's immature, and they're reversed. And all they are is about money, right? They blocked your love life. You were supposed to get the 9 of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. in all areas of your life, not just love. And you were supposed to get this a long time ago, right? This woman is a Queen of Pentacles reverse. I believe that this Queen of Pentacles in reverse is maybe someone or several women in your family. And it's people that are close to you. And it's people that don't even know you who are psychics or prophets, but they're witches or whatever. And they use their gifts for evil. They're blocking you, or they have blocked you, right? This is Eight of Swords, which is a disappointment in your life, bad news, right? Your friends are going to let you down. Your family members are going to let you down. And this has already happened for a lot of the divine feminine and divine masculines, right? This young man and this woman, right? They, it's either they're blocking you now, or they blocked you as a child, or they blocked you as a teenager, whatever. But you had two people mainly who have worked together, or they're working together to block your love life. But many of you are waking up to who you are, and you see your power because you're self-healing. And the divine creator or God is showing you many downloads of how to operate in your gifts. And they're showing you directly who your enemies are. Okay? And many of you have enemies who are in your bloodline. Some of them are deceased, and some of them are living. Okay? And so they blocked your love life. But I'm here to tell you, they can't do it no more. Because you have a King of Wands who's getting ready to enter into your life. They're going to be honest, mature, and they're going to be wise. They're going to have wealth. One of the reasons why your twin flame is not coming is because you and your twin flame are on the same journey. So whatever's happening to you is happening to them. What's happening into my life is that I've been dealing with toxic relationships and toxic men. And so I'm on my self-healing journey. I had to disconnect from them and heal from them. And then I'm still learning how to operate in my powers and my gifts, right? And so I still had to break my generational curses. I had to break the stronghold that all my enemies had on me, right? And I had to keep on figure out who I am. And that's what my twin flame is doing. They're letting go of toxic situations and toxic people. They're also fighting in the spirit against their enemies, right? Because their enemies know their time is up. And somebody is getting ready to come into your life and sweep you off your feet. And they're going to take you away from your enemies. And they're going to cover you and protect you where nobody can't get to you. Unless they have your best interests at heart. And they have true love for you in their heart. But it's not going to be a lot of people. Because this world is evil. They mean and nasty. And so when you're chosen, everybody can't be in your inner circle or your energy. So whatever you're going through, your twin flame is going through. All right? They're coming for you. But they have to tie up some loose ends. And also in this season, your twin flame is waking you up and breaking the spell and the curses over your life. They have a telepathic connection with you. They speak with you in your mind. And you will know who this person is. And you will be able to hear them. And this person is of a pure spirit. They're kind-hearted like you. They're loved like you. They're a fighter like you. They suffered like you. They're just like you. And this twin flame person has not forgotten about you. And they are more in love with you now than they've ever been before. And when your twin flame comes into your life, if you're blocked right now because you've been hurt so long, you won't be blocked no more. Because this person has true, authentic power and love for you. And their love is going to heal you in ways that the enemies couldn't. I need you to be mindful and stay focused. There are evil men out here, evil women who know about telepathic connections. They know how to take tantra sex to manipulate you. Tantra and Carezza sex is one of the most highest forms of lovemaking. And they know how to do that, and they use it to manipulate you just to get you to fall in love with them so that they can go ahead and come into your life and get whatever they want from you. Steal from you, destroy you, whatever. They think that that's going to keep you blinded and make you not operate in your gifts, or that they can steal the gifts that God has given you so they can prosper. But I declare and decree it won't work. And I know this is a lot, and I'm going to make more videos on this. But you have a twin flame. If you feel like you're discouraged because every evidence in your life shows the opposite of you having a twin flame, you have to calm down. You have to self-heal and listen to the downloads that God is getting ready to send you. They're going to reveal to you who your twin flame is. And your twin flame is not somebody who is fake. Your twin flame is not someone who you know they're evil, but they might try to trick you to make you think they're changing, and they ain't changing. Your twin flame is not two-faced. My false twin flame is two-faced. My false twin flame is out there still having sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry. My false twin flame that got one girl pregnant, and they're having several babies back to back. But he's not standing up wanting to marry her. He don't have no intentions to marry her. Then he went out and got another girl pregnant. But I believe this girl had an abortion. Yeah. My false twin flame told me years ago he loved me, but he lied to me. He tried to block my real twin flame. He had a telepathic connection with me, and I didn't understand it. Now I understand it. A lot of your false twin flames will have telepathic connection with you, but how you can tell they're false? By looking at how they live their life. Maybe you have to follow them on social media, or maybe if they try to be in your life, remember how they treat you. If they don't want to commit to you, they don't want to be in a relationship with you, they just having sex with you, you help them, you gave them money, you helped them, traveled around the world. You did so much for them to show them that you love them. And they ain't do nothing for you. They ain't pour into you. They cheated on you. They lied to you. They manipulated you. They still, they gossip on you. They lied on you. And a lot of times, some of y'all chosen ones, people bullied you, right? And it made you feel like you weren't pretty, but I'm here to tell you, you are pretty. You're gorgeous, right? And sometimes how you could tell people are your enemies when they come into your life to try to manipulate you and to make you think they love you. If you sit there and you stare at a person long enough, they'll start making that stank face. They can't hide how they feel about you. They'll look at you and stare at you, and it's a certain way they look at you. And you'll feel it in your spirit. Many of the men that I've been with, they'll look at me and they'll stare at me and they'll talk about my face. But a lot of times I know how they feel about me before they even open up their damn mouth. Because I'll stare at them in their eyes and their face. And they make certain facial features or facial things to let me know they really don't want to be with me. They think I'm ugly and they're not into me. And I'm grateful that they did that. I'm grateful that these men use me. Because now the real man that is in love with me is coming to sweep me off my feet. I love you guys. I just talk on and on. Okay. I want y'all to play this song because this song is powerful. I'm not agreeing with Trey's song. I want all the girls, the money, the houses. It would be nice to have houses and cars, but I just want one man. And I know they're coming for me. They're looking for me. And your twin flame is looking for you too. Okay?
I just wanna be successful. Drizzy, oh yeah, Trey, I feel ya. They be staring at the
I just wanna be successful. And I gotta go because I had this video on for too long. And you know what? A lot of people right now in my life are not really watching these videos to the end. But I declare and decree that when my twin flame comes, or even before he comes, that situation is going to happen where people are going to gravitate towards me and they're going to need a word to encourage them, to inspire them, because the people they've been going to are going to fail because they're not authentic. And they are not the chosen divine creator. Divine masculine and divine feminine. And so they're going to come to me and watch all my videos. And this goes for the other divine chosen and divine masculines who are chosen. You're going to have so many people connecting to you. You are inspiring and encouraging so many people. And you are a world changer and you are the GOAT. Please don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing. I love you. You're doing an amazing job. Remember, you have a twin flame out there. I told you my story. And God reminded me of that so I won't give up my faith. So that I can break the curse that my enemy is doing or has done by orchestrating my life to send low vibrational men in my life to block me. Because I'm a world changer. And I'm here to leave a legacy for my children. And my children are not going to have to work hard to manifest the life that they want to live. Because I'm going to have the tools to give to them. So when they do wake up to who mommy is, it's going to happen immediately. Immediately. Okay? I gotta go. I'm going to take a break for a while and I'm going to lay down and rest because I'm not getting enough rest. I have bags under my eyes. But if I got another word, I'm going to come back up here and tell it. Bags and all. I'm going to get some rest. And if my twin flame, Robert or Justin, whoever it is, only God knows, I know one of y'all are. If you're still living, if you're single, and you've been thinking about me, you're looking for me, I'm in Whiteville, North Carolina, okay? But that does not stop any other men who want to get to know me, and you are a good man. I welcome you. I welcome you in my life. But I don't welcome you if you are a low vibrational being. You got to be of the divine feminines and divine masculines that come into my life. You have to be of the divine, okay? I love you. I gotta go. I love you. And if nobody told you today, I'm very proud of you. Until next time, stay blessed and highly favored.